Good morning, everybody. Actually, we are the human being with carrying a lot of stages in our life. For example, as soon as we take birth, we go to the school, we face competitions, we gather knowledge, we are being educated, and then we search for, after finishing our education, we search for our job, and then after getting a job, when we start earning, then we go for our searching in search of life partner. Then after getting our life partner, we are in search of our next inheritance, next our children, our kids. Then after getting kids, we are in search of welfare of that kids, to bringing them up. After bringing them up to the certain conditions, to the certain limit, then we are in search of again for a bridegroom for them, for getting marriage. And then after that, giving them educations, giving them protection, security. And we think about our security from the morning breakfast to the lunch to the dinner, and to the short term travel, long term travel, to etc etc. We carry out a lot of multiple activities. Then we start fear of our health when the age goes up, and when we nearing to our end of our life, we start to think about our health. During that period when we start think about the health, most of our health was consumed in taking effort of correcting future health. But when the time comes, when we have money to buy everything, we have security to secure ourselves, but we don't have enough health to enjoy the health of that wealth. We don't have health to enjoy the health of the wealth. What is the health of wealth? When you enjoy worth of that particular wealth, that will be considered as a health of the wealth. If you don't if you can't enjoy the uh, necessity of the particular wealth or worth of that wealth, then it won't be considered as a health of that wealth. So, health of the wealth can be only realized when we have a good health of our biological health. So it is a biological health, and that is a psychological health. Money which we carry is a psychological health, and it is a biological health. So in the later part of life, when we don't know when we are going to end up of our life, there starts our depressions, there starts our disturbance, there starts our disappointments, there starts our real anxiety, agitations and everything. So during that period, we come to know the actual. So we start to in search of God, divinity. But throughout don't you think this is unfair for any trade? This is a trade unfair. It is called a trade unfair. Throughout your life, you lived for yourself. Throughout the life, you lived for your son, daughter. Throughout the life, you lived for your wife, your father and mother. Any part of the life, when the trouble comes to your health, when you think that now the part of life is going to end and we are not in the situation to realize or enjoy our wealth, at that point of time, when you start to apology or when you start to regret, what you have done is completely trade unfair of life. It is a trade unfair of life. You are being called for a lot of spiritual learning. You would have been called for a lot of spiritual pilgrimages, travel. You would have been being called for a lot of travels throughout across the country to search of God, but you were not hidden for that. But when the trouble comes, when the wisdom arises, when you wanted to get safe, you wanted to get safer end of your life. Is it fair to think about a safe landing? Hmm? It is a fair. It is completely unfair, and God will not recognize your prayer. God will not accept your prayer. God will not consider your quailing. You have to shout yourself for your good sake at that moment of time. Son or daughter, those who have been brought up by you, those who are fed after you were hunger, those who are clothed when you were not having cloth, when you have torn clothes, weary and teary clothes, but they were wearing a new clothes. Would they come back to you in the same manner? Do you think? Would you accept that? Would it be fair for to accept return in return? They won't come back to you. Okay, so there also a great deal of disappointment you have to face. And moreover, your father or mother, when you think about that during that particular disturbance time, they won't be there because they would have left far before they start thinking about it. Your friends circle, they may have a busy because you have lost connected connection with them. That also lost. Your circumstance also lost. So you are being alone now. So, dear all, I humbly request you to protect yourself by such in search of God, and the same way